Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. Wanted to bring you guys an update on Litecoin today. We're going to go over Bitcoin, Digibyte, and we may throw in Neo at the end. So those are the ones we're going to be going over today. And we're just going to dig into these things. We're going to be looking at most of them on the one-day chart. We may get into the 4-hour chart a little bit, but we'll have to see what we get into here, my friends. So if you guys could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that, I really appreciate it. We're going for 100 likes on this video. You guys been doing it for me, and like I said, you guys keep doing that for me and leaving me good comments and enjoying these videos. I'll keep putting them out for you, and I just appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me. So remember, I'm still a beginner in all this, guys. We're just learning and working together, but these are the things that I'm seeing, and do what you want with them. I'm not your financial advisor. So what we're looking at here is Litecoin, and it's at $42.81 right now. And it had this beautiful move off the trend line that we talked about, where we ran up into this 200-day moving average. Now, yesterday's bearish engulfing candle, we ended up losing this 0.618, which was at $73.77. And that was of the reaction of this fall. So we had this fall, and that's where we took our fib from up here, from our swing high up there to our low. And then this has been the reaction. And typically, guys, what we've been having with Litecoin, once we have these reactions that get up to the 0.618, we've been having rejection. Then we've just been falling back down. And this actually made it up and closed up above the 0.618. And then we ran into this 200-day, and now we have closed back below it again, and we're working underneath it with this spinning top candle that we've been forming. So today's close is going to be very important to see if we're going to continue to make our way down into this retracement, down maybe around to this area, or down to this 20 EMA, or if this was the pullback that we're seeing here, and now we're going to get some good volume and we're going to move up more. But the thing that I'm looking at, and the reason why I don't feel like this pullback is over yet, is due, number one, to this 200-day moving average. I feel like we need more of a pullback retracement and then some good volume to blast up off there. We may even come back down into this this trend line area right around here and test that again. That's a possibility, at least what I'm looking for. You know, I just feel like there hasn't been enough to get back over top of that. We need to power up down here and then get through it. So I'm looking at that, and that's part of the reason why I don't really think, you know, running into this 200-day moving average, that's a tough one to get up over and close, and we haven't done it yet. You can see we tried to wick up into it, and we didn't make it. Then we had that bearish engulfing candle. So what I'm looking at more so is more of a retrace. We're looking at this volume, not a ton today, more of a retrace, and then a potential move back to the upside to see if we can get over top of this 200-day moving average. If we see rejection at it again, that could be trouble, guys. We could have that like double top at the 200-day moving average. That wouldn't be good, especially if we came back down and broke this trend line. But, you know, these are all things that we have to look for, and we have to pay attention that, you know, there also could be that continuation where we move higher as well. And if we're doing that, what we would look at also, besides this 200-day and the fib levels, we would be looking at this as overhead resistance as well. Right around in this range, guys. There's going to be some resistance. We'll obviously have the 50-day, or the $50, which is a round number psychologically. That'll be a resistance, and then it would be around that $56. So it's like, you know, what are we going to do here? Are we going to pull back and gain some momentum just like we had on some of these other ones, these other runs? Take a look at these other runs here. This is what I like to do, compare. So here's a nice spike, and we had that pullback. Here's a nice spike. We had that pullback. You know, this was a very nice one, and now I feel like we're having that pullback. And let's see if it'll get down to this 20 EMA, guys. That's where I'm predicting. I think it'll either make it to about that $40, $39, $27, $40 range. We're going to have to see if we get a bounce off that. And if not there, it's going to be around this 20 EMA. Those are just my thoughts. RSI right now is at 65. And you can draw some different supports and resistances on this trend line, or on this RSI. So what we'll do here, take that. Now this is something I'm going to pay attention to. This trend line, if we're going to keep bouncing off this, or if we're going to break through that. And then we have our support down here, our overall support, how low we got, which was down around that 16, 17 on the RSI, so we got pretty low. And then at the top here, we got up to 78. So mark these things, guys. See how far things can get overextended in either direction when we have these things take place. So that's my thoughts on it. That's LTC right now. I'm waiting for a further pullback. That's just my opinion. Could we bounce from where we're at now? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I just feel like there's going to be a little bit more of a pullback before that happens. We may come down even on this RSI, test this. We may test this area here around that 40, and then these moving averages, and also the fib levels we were just going over. All right, so that's Litecoin. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin here. Clear that off. And tell me what you think with Litecoin, guys. Do you feel like it's still going to pull back some more? Or do you feel like we're going to make that move now? Like this doji here, that's the bottom from this pullback, and now we're going to start moving forward. The doji that we're seeing form right now. All right, so with Bitcoin, let me get that stuff off. We were talking about a potential bull pennant or a BART pattern with this spike that we had here. We had that big spike of volume after we broke this trend line. Remember how we talked about trend lines and the power of them? So if we would draw this here, there was a little trend line, then we had that nice break come out of it. So with that break, see now, we're forming on the 1 day, looks like to be almost a little hammer candle. So you would have that big shot up that we had, and then a pullback. And if we actually form this hammer candle, remember the hammer candle, you want the wick 2 to 3 times the size of the body. But that could be the potential bottom there, guys. And then we move up and we attempt getting over this 50 moving average, which we have not been able to get up over and hold. We wicked up over top of it. If you see this here for Bitcoin, see that? We wicked right up through it, but we've seen resistance with it. So keep a close eye on that. We're up above the 20 EMA, which is important. So let's zoom back out. So this we're just going to have to see what happens, guys. We talked about it could be that bar pattern where we just move sideways, then we drop back down. Very well could happen. Or it could have been that flag where we had our nice stick of volume, then volume decreased, and then we had another blast up. And we've talked about that, and we've shown some different examples of those types of things. So that's always a possibility. But if you step back and we look at this, we still have not broken this trend line here. So this is a trend line I've been paying attention to. Well, guys, let's take it from right here. So that's wicks. If you're going to go off the wicks right there for your trend line, or if you're going to go off real bodies. And from real bodies for a trend line, guys, the one I'd be looking at is this one here. And you'll start to read more about these trend lines where you can do this, guys, where you'll have a trend line here, then another one here, then another one here, and they're all different. It's like fanning technique on the trend lines. And you wait for breaks. So say this breaks out of this trend line, then we're going to see if it can break over this top of this one. And then obviously we'll have more coming over just on the macro. You know, more trend lines to deal with. And then there's another one that you could draw from up here down through. And you just take them one at a time. That's at least what I like to do, and it has worked, my friends. It's been efficient. And like I said, I like to back test things. Really pay close attention to that type of stuff. Overhead resistance on the RSI is going to be around that 57, and then our support's going to be around 35. Now, in terms of Bitcoin pricing, we want to see us hold this 20 EMA, which that's at 35.31. We want to see that being defended. And on the great bullish case, we want to get up above this 50, guys. It's been a long time since we've really been up above it. I mean, you can see here we kind of got up above, but we've just been dropping back into it. It would be nice to get up above that, close above that, and make some headway above that. So keep all these things in mind. We're going to move to Digibyte next. I know some people have been wanting me to look at this, so let me find a good chart for us. Alright, so Poloniex here, we've been looking at this as well. This little triangle we've been forming. Remember how we talked about it? It's kind of a mix between a symmetrical triangle and a descending triangle. Symmetrical, it would definitely count because we're having these lower highs and these higher lows, but you can see these higher lows aren't by much. It's almost a flat horizontal bottom, which would make it a descending triangle. And remember, descending triangles most of the time follow the trend, but also you get a lot of breaks to the downside with those. Like 70% of the time you'll have a break to the downside. So Digi is still holding this, guys, which is awesome. You know, we're seeing it. We're going to see if we test it again down here. We had this nice wide gap, which made this trend line even stronger. And then we came back right down in here, went back up. We were up above the 20-day EMA. We got rejected by the 50 moving average and pushed back down. And now we're going to be testing the bottom of this trend line. Remember, guys, this is why I was saying don't FOMO into things. Look at Digi's price right now, 0.0087. It's down 3.45%. You're always going to have a chance. When things blast off, they always come back for a lot of the times. I mean, look at this. Had this beautiful blast off, and look, guys, over the month or so, it just basically came right back. So don't FOMO into anything. Wait for good entries. But right now, it's just that patient time. Are we going to get, you know, are we going to hit this trend line again and bounce up and make an attempt at these moving averages? Or are we going to break right down through and close below it? And if we close below it, most likely we're probably going to lose this because of how close this is to here. Yeah, maybe we might have one more stop there around that 0.0079. But if not there, then we're going to be falling pretty hard. And I want you guys to be aware of that, because the next support, see if I can find it here. So the next support, and then we're going to go off the wick down here, guys, which typically I like to go off the real bodies, but we're getting pretty close to that already. We're at 0.0072, and then down at the wick here would be around that 6 area. And if that is lost, so let me draw a horizontal line here, then we're going to be dropping far fast. We'll drop all the way back down into this area, around the 0.0002. So this is a crucial area for Digibyte. You know, is this a bear pennant that's just going to break down, or a triangle that's just going to break down, or are we going to break up and come up out of this triangle? A lot of times you'll come up and then you'll come back and you'll test it, and then you'll go on, and that's a great possibility. We could come out of here, have good volume, have a pullback, and then make an attempt at this 200-day. You know, after we go after these overhead resistances here around that 0.0129, then we have the 0.01439, and then we make that run at it. But that's where I said, like, Litecoin right now is just a little farther ahead because we're testing that 200-day moving average. A lot of these other coins, there's still a little bit of distance between them, so keep that in mind. And also keep this in mind. I just saw this. I want to see how this works out. Look at this overall trend line there. I caught it, but we haven't broken out of that yet, so keep that one in mind. Remember how we talked about triangles, and we're doing this here. Take a look at this, and this is what I'm going to be paying attention to, what we do with these. See that? We're just bouncing in here, and it's going to have to go one way, up or down eventually. So let's keep checking in, guys. Remember, pay attention to things like this rounded bottom. We saw that on the LTC BTC chart. I was talking about that and called that a while back, a week or so ago, and it actually played out. But look what happened after that rounded bottom. You had an explosion that just took off. So we have to be ready for these things, guys. We always have to have a plan. We plan for the upside, the downside, the sideways. That's what we do. Next one, let's go to NEO. Just want to find a good chart, guys, with some good information. There we go. This is fine. All right, so NEO, at one point, we made it all the way up to $200, $198. Look how far we've retraced. NEO's at $8.36 right now. I recently just picked up a little bit. I think I got it for like $7.97, $7.93, somewhere in there. I saw it had a dip, and it was a decent buying opportunity just to store a couple away. And, you know, I think NEO could be a very good project down the road. So just kind of dollar cost averaging in, those types of things. But look how far we've fallen. You can see this starting to even kind of round out a little bit. This trend is just, it's gotten exhausted. There's not much more downside left to go. People are going to want to start pushing it back to the upside so they can start making money, because the bears can only be in control for so long and the bulls can only be in control for so long. The trends have to change, guys. And now you're seeing us almost meet up with this 200-day moving average, so we're going to have to make a decision. Are we going to bounce off and fall back down, or are we going to break up above it? And are we going to start a bull market? That's how close we are. I mean, really pay attention to this 200-day. That's how close we are to starting a bull market. You know, in alt season, if we can get up above these and start closing up above them. But look where the volume's been. The volume's been not that impressive right now. Sorry, guys, my thing's not working. There we go. the volume's been going down right now, so keep that in mind. And also keep in mind this Fibonacci level. Look how low we've gotten. So like I said, for long-term accumulation or whatnot, you're super close to the bottom here, guys. I mean, you're below basically where this almost started over here when we had this whole explosion. When we were having this explosion for NEO, right in here, I mean, it was still a $25, $30 coin in here, guys. Look how low we've gotten. And that's how extended these crypto markets can get, to either way, to the upside or to the downside. You know, this is a crazy parabolic run. Nothing really in a year should go from cents almost up to $200. That's insane. But now we're seeing that whole correction, and that's the importance of being able to take profits, know how to trade, know what to do when you see these parabolic runs like that, and know what to do once you're starting to get to the bottom as well. That's something really important that I want you guys to pay attention to. RSI now is getting to an overhead resistance spot, so we want to keep that in mind. Right there, we're running into that, and we're going to have to see what we do with that. And now for NEO, let's really zoom in. See what's happening. Alright, so I'm going to draw some trend lines. We're just going to take a look, see what we're forming down here. Alright. Okay, guys, so we're bouncing this kind of like that symmetrical triangle. We came up here, and now we're going to see if we come back down and test this lower trend line, or if we're going to try to get up through it right now. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to, because on the 1 day, we are up above the 20 EMA, we're up above the 50 moving average, and it looks like the 20 EMA is wanting to cross over the 50 moving average. And if that happens, guys, we'll have resistance around that $9, let's call it $10, and then there could be a heck of a run all the way up here to $15. So there's huge percentage gains once we break out of this, and it almost looks like there's potential for us to break out of this. So keep that in mind as well. But let's look at these trend lines and see what happens. It's the biggest thing I can tell you is pay attention to that. But NEO is at $8.34 right now, guys. It's up 1.24%. A lot of people are saying we're starting to get back into that bull market. Things are happening, but just be patient. You know, really look for confirmation. That's the best thing I can tell you, is look for confirmation. And also realize, look at that lower trend line we want to pay attention to on the RSI. And pay attention to, you know, if you're holding for the long term or whatnot, this isn't a terrible spot to start accumulating if you do plan on holding for the next, you know, term of the bull market when it does come. So, you know, keep this stuff in mind, guys. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just here to help you the best I can. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I may try to get one more video out today, but it's been a busy day, and I'll just see what I can do, and I'll do my best for you. God bless you all.